Well, it's a pretty frigid day out here in the garage, and I think it's supposed to be a pretty frigid week, but I want to keep the content rolling and keep the progress going on this old girl. So we're going to do a short video fixing up this old oil bath air cleaner that I purchased for this. I believe it's off some Chrysler product of some sort. I don't think it's the exact model for this car, but it fits the carburetor. As you can see, there's a hole in it. My guess is that used to have a riv nut in it and or some sort of fastener, and that's what bolted to a lever which bolted to the side of the block to keep this stable. We're gonna fix that with just some sheet metal patching. We'll clean this all up, get all the dirt and crusty rust and stuff off of it, and probably paint it. There was a sticker on there at one point, but obviously it's way gone. It's overall not in bad shape. I think I paid 60 bucks for this thing, which isn't necessarily cheap, but it's also not that bad. I can't remember where it came out of. Arizona, I don't know, somewhere like that. As you can see, it is quite a bit dirty in there. I don't know how we're gonna clean that out yet. I believe there's probably a way you can pull this, steel wool out of there and clean it up. We're gonna figure that out, but for right now, that's not my major concern. Yeah, probably some way to do that. I don't know, we'll see. But my major concern right now is all this junk. I mean, look at this. That's just disgusting. So we're gonna let this soak in some gas for a little bit. I'm actually gonna put this right here, like that, maybe. Maybe that'll stay a little, nope, it's not gonna stay any more square. Okay. I have 2 cans of gas, so we're plenty pumped up on that. There, that should help get that all sort of loose in there, and then we can come back in here and scrub that a little bit. Dump that in that old drain pan over there and continue to clean other parts of this. I'm gonna let this sit overnight. Like I said, it's pretty cold out here. I may try to figure out a way to pull all this steel wool-ish stuff out of here. Probably do some research on the internet, see how that all works out. Like I said, I'm sure it can be done. I just don't know how. Maybe this sort of crimps on over here or something like that. Who knows? We'll find out. But we'll bring you back in tomorrow. And that's when we'll do probably the majority of work on this old girl. Well, I came back out a few hours later because, well, one, I was kind of curious to make sure this wasn't leaking gas everywhere, because you never know with old things like this. Oh, there's the old master cylinder that we don't need. But I had an idea. I'm gonna throw an old sweatshirt in here. Actually, let's grab this guy and just kind of keep it out of the way. There's a lot of fluid in here. I don't remember what fluid is in here. It might actually be, what would it be? Mineral spirits, I believe. Who knows? But we're gonna keep this little guy. Maybe you can see this. I'm just tucking the master cylinder out of the way. I think I can lift this guy up. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, that's actually smarter. That just comes out of there. Look at that. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put that right there. All of this is relatively clean. There's a little gasket right there, an old cork gasket. I'm not really too worried about that. We'll put this there, and then I sort of realized I can keep you tucked right into there. And I thought about it. I can probably clean this just the same by sticking it in that pool of gas and letting that gas soak through all of this steel wool. It's probably not gonna get all the stuff out of there, but it'll get it clean as well. It's gonna spill out, so I'm gonna be just gonna drop it in there. Actually, I could probably put a little more gas in there. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna fill this thing with gas up to the top, or as much of the top as we can. There, that'll work. I don't really care if any of this spills out, because we're in a bucket now. And then this, we're just gonna, oh, there we go. Okay, so that gas, I smell like gas now, but that's okay. But that gas should now be at the top. And it's soaking into that. So we should be golden for that, cleaning all that stuff out. Like I said, I'll give it 24 hours. We're close to 24 hours. We'll come back out and see what that does. All right, well, we're back out here today. It is a Sunday, and as you can see by the many footprints in the ground, on the ground, not in the ground, it's concrete. It's snowing cats and dogs out there. We probably got close to a foot right now. So that's neat. Anyways, yeah. I'm gonna keep the momentum going up on this air cleaner, even though it is a balmy, I mean, it's barely 20 degrees in here. I've had the kerosene heater running for a little while, but I'm all spiffed up. Got long johns on, all kinds of fun stuff. Here's the bottom part of that air cleaner. As you can hear, there's some fun stuff in it. I don't know if you can actually get this apart. I don't think you can. It does not feel like it. But I'm gonna try to see if I can get whatever gunk is in there out of there. Probably not. Oh, something fell out. Oh, it was a bug. They're bugs. That actually might just be the clamp making noise. It is. It's just the clamp making noise was just tacked onto there. So we got that dead bug out of there. I'm gonna clean this all up, get all this rust off here. Not that it really matters because you don't see that from the outside, but I'm gonna get that cleaned up, get this top part cleaned up, ready for, you know, getting spray painted. I'm gonna do that first. Also this nut right here, this wing nut bolt thingy could do that. And then what we'll do is we'll come in, and this has been soaking in gas for a little bit. I also discovered that the top part of that came off, which is really nice. This doesn't need painted, so this can continue to soak because this is just the element that's in there. I believe the side of this needs to be painted because that is ultimately visible. So as you can see, there's kind of some good stuff. Actually, what I'm gonna do for the brief moment while I'm waiting here is pour some gas down through here. That'll let that soak a little more. Clean out all the junk. Ooh, I just like hurt my hand doing that. It's good, it's so cold. But yeah, so I'm gonna clean these all off. Kind of clean up this hole a little bit so I can patch that. And then we'll get to cleaning that bottom part off, cleaning those out. It's kind of hard because it's really cold and I gotta use mittens. But that's okay. This is part of making progress and not just letting your project stall. So I'll get these cleaned up and bring you back in when I get that in, and then we'll work on that. All right, well, I got a little ahead of myself and started cleaning out that, which, dude, there's a lot of like gross oil and stuff on there, which isn't fun. But as you can see, I got most of the rust out of here. Kind of messed that gasket up a little bit in some spots, but it'll clean up real nice. Luckily, a lot of this wasn't really rusty. It's just got dirt and stuff on it. I did my best to clean it off. I really don't care how clean it is, to be honest with you. It's not going to be perfect, as you can see. It's just an old air cleaner, and any paint we splash on that's going to make it better than it was. So I got that guy cleaned up and wiped off. I got this guy cleaned up and wiped off. I'll probably clean them off again before I do anything. So the other thing now that we got to do here is deal with this dent. Like I said, I think this was where like a little either a riv nut or something was in there so that they could have a member like come off of this and bolt it to the side of the block so it would stiffen it up a little bit. All I'm really gonna do, I thought I got a hammer out, but I must not have, is come in here. There it is with the old ball peen. Just kind of whack any like rust spots. There's actually a little piece right there. We could probably fold over with some sort of implement of leverage here. There we go, that might help. There, that's perfect. So we just want to get most of this stuff pounded down nice and smooth. Yeah, sure. It's not perfect, but it'll do. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a piece of metal. Yeah, you can actually kind of see the outline of something on there. I'm gonna take a piece of metal from somewhere on the truck. Probably like a nice little sliver right here, and then just cover that up and put 2 riv nuts right there, and not riv nuts, rivets, pop rivets on there, and call it a day. I mean, really doesn't need to be perfect. Just want to cover up that hole so, you know, bees and fun things can't get in there. So I'll bring it back in. Like I said, it'll just be a small piece of sheet metal, and we'll cover that up, and it'll be beautiful once again. It's a gosh darn winter wonderland out there. So I got that piece cut. I actually spray painted this side just to give it a little, you know, rust protection from being underneath that. And then I took the inside piece of this and I spray painted it as well. You know, just so it doesn't try to rust out the inside out, which I don't think it would anyway, but it's best to be safe. So now I'm gonna go to cleaning this catastrophe out. As you can see, I've already started scrubbing the side of this and it's coming out real well. Bottom of this is coming out real well too. This is just going to be a lot of work here. I'm not really going to show a lot of it, but I mean, I think in the beginning you saw how gungy and disgusting it is in there as well. So the plan is to get most of that all cleaned out, and then we'll get these set aside, and by that time we should hopefully be ready for paint.
For the one behind the counter, ringing up for sale. For the one.
All right, that's a great song. Freaking Alabama, what a band. All right, well, it's still dumping snow outside, but now, as you can see, and you can probably allude back to the beginning of this video, these are all super nice and clean now. They cleaned up real nice. That's why gasoline is probably one of the better solvents to use, because it'll take anything off anything. And honestly, pound for pound, or gallon for gallon, I guess, because that's how it's measured in, it's probably cheaper than most things. It's definitely cheaper than, what is it? Brake Clean, which is like $4 for one of those cans. So use gasoline if you can. As you can see, this guy sits on top of there. And then we'll bring this guy in. I don't even know if I was pointing the camera in the right place, so sorry if I wasn't. This guy sits right there. This sits on top, and this goes right here. So what I think I'm gonna do is keep those pieces raw that are raw, just because I like the contrast. And then the other stuff, I don't have any black paint, which is surprising for me. I've probably used it all. I do have rust reform, but I don't want to use that. So what I think we're gonna do is we're gonna keep these two off here. Oh, I'm not looking at it, sorry guys. We're gonna let these two guys marinate here. That probably needs to dry out the copper looking stuff in there anyway. So that's gonna sit there. I'm definitely not gonna paint this guy, because I don't even think there was paint on it to begin with. I think it was just gross oil and stuff. And then we are gonna paint these two. I'm only gonna paint the outsides of them, because I don't feel like painting anything else. So yeah, we'll paint the top of this and that. What I'm gonna do though is I first need to patch this hole. That's relatively dry and tacky. That's relatively dry enough. So I'm gonna screw this into that and then rivet it on, and then we'll get into painting these johns. All right, well, everything's prepped, ready to go. Got the heater going. I got everything sitting over here. I did realize though, I actually want to paint this nut right here black, because I think it'll look better. As you can see, there's my fix right there. I never showed that, I guess, but it's not perfect, but it makes it look a lot better than it was. about being a woman. Sorry, that was just on the radio. If you're a Shania Twain fan, do you even like life? This is professional. Like, if somebody wants a crappy oil bath air cleaner rebuilt, dude, come to me. I'll make it real nice for you. So that's professional hacking of air cleaners that should have stayed on cars in a junkyard. All right, we'll let that dial up a little bit more and put one more coat on it and call it a day. All right, I didn't film the final coat because I didn't think it was worthwhile to have you guys see me painting another coat. Looks like we might have some drips on there. That's okay though. Not really super upset about that. Oh no, it's just the old paint on that little patch I put in there. But yeah, it looks pretty decent. Looks pretty cool. I'm gonna let this sit overnight. Actually, I gotta turn my heater off. Oh. Yeah, that'll work. This will probably take long to dry because it's cold out. I think it actually got up to 30 in the garage here, so that's pretty nice. But yeah, those are all nice and cleaned up. Painted, dialed in. These things are looking nice. A lot better than they were, if you remember, or peer back to the beginning here. Not perfect. I may try to spray this a little more to get more junk out of this steel wool. If not, looks like there's just tack welds I can just cut off on here and pull this whole top section off and dial it back in. But we'll see. It looks half decent in there, to be honest with you. I'm not super concerned about it, so we'll bring you in tomorrow and this is all back together. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, who knows. Whenever that's dry, we'll bring you back in and you'll see the final solution of the hack together oil bath air cleaner that cost $60, which is better than buying the $30 or $20 regular paper filter air cleaner that you got to replace all the time, where this you just throw no oil in and clean it out and call it a day. So we'll show you that when it's ready to go. Well, it's a few days later. We're back out here to wrap up this video. These guys seem relatively dry. Yeah, that seems decently dry. So I'm gonna set these up on the counter so we can get a good look at it. And we'll go from there and I'll show you the final product. And there we are. There's a restored oil bath air cleaner. I kind of like the rawness of this middle piece in there, sandwiched in between all of the antique white. As you can see, I probably could touch up some paint around here because that was an underside of a place that I couldn't really get paint on, but it is what it is. As you can see, this part, it's not perfect. There's pitting on top, but I think this filter element came out rather clean compared to the way it was. Soaking it in gas definitely helped out a lot. And then obviously this is way cleaner than it was. So I'm going to keep this all holed up, ready to go for whenever we need to put it back on. Like I said, maybe improve it slightly more from what it is now. Something that was junky out of a, probably a junkyard somewhere that we just put a little bit of love and time into. And it turned it into, well, at least a moderately decent piece to look at, I guess you would call it. So I'm going to set this off to the side. And I think what we're going to do next, which is going to be a separate video, is start cleaning up these hubcaps. As you can see, they're pretty dirty inside. Outside doesn't look that good. I think what we'll do is get them inside. It's really cold out this week. I don't know if any of you, this video might be delayed actually, but anybody that lives in the Northeast area, it's like barely out of single digits up where I'm at. So even with that heater going in here, it is frigid cold. So I'm probably not getting a whole lot done out here this week, but we'll try to sustain the channel with other small projects and continue to feed the pipeline here. But yeah, look for a video coming up of us cleaning up those hubcaps. We'll catch you later. Thanks for watching.